This is a review of the San Antonio KOA and some of our highlights of San Antonio. We are at the San Antonio KOA, San Antonio / Alamo KOA, because we are only 10 minutes from central downtown where the Alamo is located, which makes it a great location if you are coming to San Antonio. I'll show you a little bit. We are considered one of the patio sites. These are kind of more the deluxe sites. Our rate right now, it is the last week of November, and our rate is $90 for the night. You can see we have a nice picnic table with umbrella, and then a grill, a nice little swing. I always love that feature when they have those, and then the fire pit. The sites are gravel here, which is typical of KOAs, but pretty level, so that is good. A couple different comfort stations. I'll show you a layout of the map here in a minute, but I just want to show you a little bit more about our site. Obviously 50 or 30 amp, and then septic here and water. So they do have water electric only sites that were like $50 for the night, so there's that option if you want something more budget friendly. And there's actually 2 septic dumps, so if we had a second, or if you wanted to just connect further back, you could do that. You can see these are some more of the patio sites, and then there's ones without the patio, and then the ones that are the water and electric only. The KOA has a pretty large footprint, so there's a big area where you can check in, nice flat pull-throughs where you can usually get signed in. There is a propane fill station, and then there's a bunch of other buildings. We'll kind of go through those in a little bit more detail where the main area is to meet, and then the check-in area. So this is what the check-in area looks like. You can see they have a pizza place. You can order pizzas and have them delivered to your site. There's a campground store with plenty of resources. And then as you come into the park, you can see you will be greeted by somebody who will take you directly to your spot and pull through there. I always like that feature. And I'll show you a better shot of the playground, but what's nice about the playground is that it's really central to all the sites. So the sites kind of go around it, so it kind of gives a nice protected space for your kids to play. And I already mentioned that the sites are on gravel, but this gives you a chance to see what a few more of these pull-through sites look for the larger RVs. The eastern edge of the park backs up to all this green space. So you have green space that's within the KOA property boundaries. You can walk your dog and things like that. And then if you go across that fence, there's actually a really long path, biking path or walking path that you could take to kind of get around the city for a bit. So there's some open areas to hike around and explore. And then this is what it looks like for the electric only setup. So this is kind of like an overflow area. You can see that there's only a certain number of spots, but I bet in the summertime when this park fills up, that might be your only option. So that's what those electric only are going to look like. We are near the front entrance. They actually have a little lake here. And because it's within their property, you can fish here. You don't need a fishing license. It is a catch and release fishing area. You can see the little dock on that spot. And then as I pan over, you can see part of the swimming pool. I'll get a little bit closer to that. There are restrooms over in this area, and this is kind of the back of the entrance store area. There's a nice little gazebo set up and some seating. So this is the pool, and it is the last week of November, and you would not think that it would be warm enough for a pool because it's only 51 degrees out today, but I saw people swimming in here yesterday, so they must have it heated, which is nice to know that you can enjoy it. I do not see a spa, but it is a nice pool, and it's right in front of the main office area. They do have bike rental options and then the little carts. So the carts stay within the park. You probably could use that biking path that I showed you to take a bike and bike around. I don't know about going into the city with one of their rentals. They might not like that. But that does give you some options. And then this is what like the big clubhouse area looks like that's next to the playground. So you can see it's a very large playground area. And then in this clubhouse area, they'll have some food and they might have different events and crafts and things like that going on, just kind of depending on the time of the year and what they have for their schedule. The playground area really is nice. It has newer equipment and you're dealing with kind of the plastic equipment instead of the wood that gives you splinters and all that. You can see there's a gaga ball pit there as well and the basketball courts. In terms of things to do in San Antonio, there is a ton of stuff to do. We always like to try to hit up the NPS sites. So the national park site that is down here is the San Antonio missions. And so there's 4 different missions. The main site is where the visitor center is at and the rangers are located and all that stuff. So I would go to the main mission site, which is the one you're seeing right here, and you get to see one of the standing missions that are still around from the early Spanish explorers that came up into this area. You can walk around, you can tour inside of the church. So it's definitely a cool site to check out and go see. Of course, they have the Junior Ranger packets if your kids want to do that. We also then drove up the road to Mission Concepcion, which is one of the other locations. And so this one is a little bit closer into downtown. The first location was probably about 20 minutes south of the city, just so you know. There is not any RV parking at this Mission Concepcion. The first location did have a large lot that could accommodate buses, but this one is just kind of interspersed in the suburb city, and so you can't really fit in there with your RV. And we didn't have time for the last 2 missions, which are further south of the city. Our next stop and main reason for coming to San Antonio was to visit the Alamo. And there's plenty of great resources on the Alamo. I recommend, we read the Alamo All-Stars, which is a fun graphic novel, but very historically accurate, and the kids enjoyed that, and it just helped make the experience of going to the Alamo mean that much more because they'd already heard about the battle, and they knew a little bit about the different players in that battle, and so it helped kind of pull it all together by coming here in person. And touring the Alamo is free, so don't be confused by the website. I felt like you had to buy a tour to come ahead of time, and I was confused about that, but when you come, you do not have to have the tour ticket. And the last place we visited was the beautiful downtown Riverwalk. So what's cool about this is this was engineered in order to accommodate for flooding issues that San Antonio often had. So they built this system of kind of these canals that go through the city, and you have all this paved area that you can walk along, and there's shops and there's dining and shopping and all sorts of things. So we definitely ate here and then walked the path during the night. We felt that it was totally safe. You can do an option of doing one of the tours on the boats. I don't remember exactly what the pricing, I think it was about $40 a person or something. And we didn't really feel like we needed that. Plus we wanted to stop at so many spots. This was, of course, in the end of October, so it's near Christmas time, and they have all the Christmas lights decorating, and it just was beautiful to walk around and enjoy in the evening. I mean November. I hope you enjoyed this tour of the San Antonio KOA and some of the surrounding things to see. If you enjoyed it, you can give it a thumbs up. If you have questions, feel free to ask below. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at RV Homeschool. Thanks for watching.